delivery. So we have been doing this work for mostly 2 years, and the results I'm providing today ranges on two studies that we did about data visualization. One where we identified the information needs. So we took one step back and we did this study with 5 different companies in Software Center to find out what are their information needs. What do they look for? It's simply what question tester or programmers ask when they need to visualize some information. And then the second study, that's an extended work we did with where we identified the challenges in developing and maintaining visualization tool, and what are the recommendations from the people who are actually developing or maintaining visualization tool in the companies. So I am Azeem Ahmad, and this is my team. I'm working with Ula Liefler, Kirsten Sandal, and Asil Barry Lund on this project. So today we'll talk about, I have seen that many people have accepted the invitation and they are very new to the work that I have presented before in reporting workshops. So I thought I will take a few moments to talk about information needs for data visualization that we have identified previous year. And then I'll talk about the challenges and recommendation that we have identified in developing or maintaining visualization needs or visualization tool. So if you are on this road where you are going to achieve some data visualization, I hope these challenges and recommendation will help you. We'll talk about, we are bringing some interesting, all things are interesting, but we are doing something funny to use a virtual reality for data traceability in CID. So a lot of work has been done where people are using VR in data visualization. And we will talk about why we need VR in data traceability, because when we are working with our current work, we have seen that some companies raise the concern of too much data availability and user interface complexities, and they say that this information is too much for a simple developer. If he needs to answer his question, the data is too much and too complex. So we thought that maybe virtual reality can solve this. And we have a master thesis at this moment who's exploring virtual reality for data traceability. Let's see, we have something to present during the coming next sprint. And I'll play a short video of 4 minutes that already explain how VR have been used in software engineering in terms of visualizing the code and the object-oriented paradigms. So the problem is that, of course, you all have worked with continuous integration and delivery pipeline, that there are so many activities from code submit to build the code to run test cases, to release, and to get the feedback and different files, different version. So those activities, during those activities, software professionals seek additional information to perform a task at hand. So if they, let's suppose if they want to release a product, they might have some question before they release a product. Or if they have conducted the testing activity, they have some question about the confidence or how many test cases have run, or how much time have been increased between the previous run and the current run, or what test cases are taking too long to run, or what environment the test case mostly fail on. So there are so many questions at hand, but before they answer those questions, they need some additional information to answer that question, which take considerable amount of time, we find out during our study, and it might distract from doing productive work. So yeah, that's true. And data produced in CI/CD is among us, and input sources are numerous. If you're using GitHub, Jira, Jenkins, and you have some other in-house tool, and then at the end, you need to dig deep to different log files of different tool to find out the answer of the question at hand. So data produced is too much, and it makes it more harder to seek the answer of the question you have before you can proceed further. So we also talked about what are the challenges, because I have seen that some companies are on advanced level in the data visualization. Some companies are on the way to develop visualization tool and their pipeline. And I have seen some of the software companies does not have data that they want to visualize. So they are struggling how to produce the data, or maybe how to set up a central CI pipeline so that they can have these data that can help them with the decision making or intelligent decision making. So we'll talk about what are the challenges and recommendation in creating, maintaining visualization tools. Our approach was to identify information needs. What are the information needs? What question do they ask? Because we thought that if we jump directly on the tools, that would might not be wise. So the idea is to first learn what are their needs, what information do they look for? Because identifying those needs help us better understand the tools, the practices, and the processes that are important when addressing those information needs. And we identify the needs, we identify their importance, because of course some needs are very important. They want the answer about it. It's very important to know about it. And some needs are good. If they have an answer, that's good. If they don't have an answer, the life will go on. We also talk about the frequency, how frequently they look for this information. So we find out that some information they look for every minute, or sometimes every 30 minutes, or sometimes every 2 hours. And we find out that some information needs, they need answer in a week or whenever they release a product. So we captured the frequency of the information needs and the effort, how much effort they are producing currently at this moment in terms of time, or is it hard to answer that? And we also identified the challenges and recommendations. So we identified 27 information needs. We will look into it. We identified their importance, their frequency, their effort, and their time. We categorized them into testing, code and commit, confidence level, bug, artifact. We talked about what are the strategies at this moment regarding those 27 needs. How do they address it? Do they go for manual inspection? Do they have in-house tool? Do they look for Jira or external tool? We talked about 8 challenges in maintaining and developing visualization tool, and we will talk about 10 recommendations from the people in Software Center who are actually maintaining or developing visualization tool. What have they learned, and what do they recommend for the companies who are going on this road? So in case if you want to leave early, these are the 2 papers that have been published with our work, Software Professional Information Needs in Continuous Integration and Delivery. This is a conference paper. You can take a snapshot if you want to read more. And our recent paper in the journal is available online regarding the challenges, if you want to learn more about it. So we have 27 needs, but I'll provide you top 5 information that needs that we have identified, which were very important because the scale was 1 to 5. 5 mean very important, 1 mean good to know. Frequently sorted, 4.9, 5 mean they look for it too many. Effort, 5 mean it's very hard, and time in minutes. At this moment, it takes 15 to 20 minutes to answer those needs. And those needs are how much confidence do we have in a release to deploy to a customer? This is the top first need identified by 6 different software center companies. The second is the given feature ready to release to customer? The third one, is the bug fix ready to release to customer? And the fourth one, how much confidence do we have in a test suite? And the last one, how much confidence do we have in a standalone project to be merged into a master or a baseline project? So these were the top 5 needs that we find out. And then we took that we are currently working with all the companies that how do they address these needs exactly? What tools they use? And we many companies demoed their tool, and we have this finding. We will present hopefully in the reporting workshop. And these were the 27 needs. I understand that you might be on your cell phone during the lunch or not the computer, so it might be hard to read those 27 needs, but I can take few of them to read aloud. That how much confidence we have in a test suite, what is the health and status of our new code changes, or does in which environment specific test case fail, or what test cases are flaky, or what are the build result of my commit, and who broke the build, and how has my code affected non-functional properties of the product, or what tasks are pending in the pipeline for a long time, or what test case ran on what at what time or what machine, and who created this artifact. So these were the 27 information needs that people at Software Center, they want to visualize, they want to get the answer. And we can see we also have on the right side their importance and their frequency and their effort. We also try to find out that how do they address these needs? I won't go into this because it may take more work, and if you want to read, you can look at the paper. But what we get from this table is that all or 80% of the needs are done through manual inspection. They don't have any tool for it. Either they have to dig deep into a Jira or Gerrit or GitHub log files. They have to send email. They have to conduct ad hoc meetings where people from different departments come together and they get answer of that need. Only one company, A, B, C, D are the company names. They have in-house tools that only address 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 information needs out of 27. So we find out that yes, companies are putting too much manual work in order to answer the needs they have. So that was something information needs that I have presented a lot of time during the reporting workshop. But today I want to focus on the challenges in developing, maintaining visualization tool. So the challenges we have identified is people are having difficulty or facing challenge in tool development and maintenance. This is true. How to develop a tool, and if they have a tool, how to maintain a tool, because some companies have tools that are older than 8 years, and it's very hard to maintain it with current requirements. Information quality. The information you provide in the visualization tool, how can someone trust it? Is it an up-to-date information or is it an old information? So practitioners are struggling with the information quality on the tool and trust. Developer still don't trust the tool. They still send email, hey, the information I'm looking at the screen, is it correct? Is it up to date? Or they want to work with their gut feelings rather than looking at the information at the tool. That's another challenge people are having in visualization and maintaining the tool. Tool creator versus tool user. If a tool is created by one team and used by other team, there is a feedback issue between them. Maybe tool creator don't understand the requirement properly, or tool user don't provide a feedback that, okay, yes, this tool is up to what we wanted and this is good. So we will talk about it more in detail, what people have observed in this case. Then effort versus worth. Companies are struggling. Is it worth to put resources to develop tools? Or maybe we go for some open source. And when they go for open source, it's for broader audience, not customized according to your own needs. So there's a challenge there too. And then confidentiality versus transparency. Some companies do not want to reveal that this commit or these changes are for what customer, because this is confidential. They want user or developer to know that we are working on it, but they don't want to reveal this information because maybe compliance authority or law or some confidential information. So that's another challenge in visualization tool. Companies have different CI workflows. That's another problem. Result interpretation. People have seen that, okay, they may have provided some user interface. Well, I'm sorry. I'm working from home, so yeah. Result interpretation. Companies are having a problem when they see a result on the screen. How do they interpret it? Maybe a technical person may interpret it differently as a non-technical person. So that's another challenge to how to interpret a result on the screen. User interface complexities. It's related to CI workflow that each person needs a different user interface based on their designation, based on their team. Is it a testing team or development team or a issue management team? All these teams. So they have challenges. We have identified some challenges in user interface complexities. So if we look deep into each one, visualization tool development and maintenance, which is the first challenge, I thought let's provide you what the practitioner said before our own analysis. They said this visualization tool that they were referring to was developed around 8 years ago, but it is very complex to modify at the moment. It is just providing some answer and developers are still using it. It is a challenge to maintain it with new requirements. So that's what the practitioner said during our interview. So to create an in-house visualization tool or explore online resources, this is a challenge for the tool, for the companies who are working with visualization. And this is true, visualization tool receive little attention and less resources. In contrast to developer and tester, we notice that CI architect or maintainer or those who actually develop a tool, visualization tool, these roles are not available in the companies. They have either do developers or tester, not all the companies, but most of them. So that's another challenge, that they don't have proper resources that they can dedicate for visualization solution or identify visualization need. Visualization tools are developed as ad hoc solution. For example, you need something, okay, I can develop a tool, use it. Other team needs something, I can develop a user interface, you can use it, which is, I believe, wrong, because then you have too many tools that were not maintained over a time, and there are so much redundancy in the tools. Information quality and trust in tooling, which is our second challenge. What people said about it. We receive emails from users with screenshots inquiring that information they see is correct. We receive too many emails from teams. The quality of information and gaining user trust is very important. So this is one of the CI architects who developed the visualization tool, and now he has a problem that people send screenshot. Hey, is this the correct information I'm looking at? Sometimes some other participants said that sometimes we do not have clear requirement for a tool to be developed. For example, we need to provide specific confidence value about some artifact. In this case, we need to talk to a lot of people. It is like a pyramid. You start talking to some people and you go down and you talk to more people. And what they're trying to say that perhaps they can use developer or those people who needs this tool into a development of the tool. So they can have a clear requirements. Developers do not know how visualization tool works that we provided. So I think we should work together with the developer to have an information quality perspective of trust in tooling. The struggle to gain developer or tester trust in visualization, it's very important. And if the tool is new that have been proposed by the team, it's very harder for developers to trust the information on the tool. That's one challenge when you're working with the visualization solution. Developer and tester prefer to trust their gut instinct over the tool's output when making decisions. Unfortunately, people are still doing that even if they have a tool. Tool created versus tool user. What the participant said, it is difficult because I am a provider of information that someone else looked at. I do not get feedback from them whether it was a smooth ride or there were issues. Perhaps they use the system occasionally or they are not using it at all. So those who are creating visualization tool, they say that it's very hard to find out whether we did a good job or what is the feedback from the people who are using it. Developers do not know how the visualization tool works that we provided. So they believe they should work together. So the challenge is the lack of feedback loop and communication between those who create a tool and those who use a tool. Effort and worth, if we talked about it, whether it's a challenge to look into it. Practitioners reveal that their companies do not consider these efforts, for example, building in-house tool, worthy, and spend time exploring the options of third-party tools or a plugin, resulting in more manual work. So they have to find out, they have to search a lot which tool they can find out, can use, and then they find out that, oh, this is too broad tool, or this does not answer our need. So it results in more manual work. Confidentiality versus transparency. Developers might not be aware of what they are coding for. They have some perspective. It cannot go all the way up to the abstraction layer. They think that they are improving an algorithm, but they do not know that we are deploying this product to specific customer. We have specific and confidential requirements. So it's very hard to see what information can we provide on this tool that does not violate the confidentiality or transparency rule, and developers are authorized to look for it. It's not the cases for all the companies, but some of companies say that it's a challenge for them for the visualization. We do not want them to know about the actual use case that we are supporting. This is why developers cannot see where their code end up actually in a final product. So that's another challenge for them. Of course, each company, some of the companies have many teams working on the product or a different part of the product, and they have different workflows, they have different CI pipelines, they configure it according to their own way. And when it comes to provide them a solution or look at their visualization needs, it's more because of the different CI workflow. And that's another challenge that people have mentioned. Result interpretation. If they look at the result, how do they interpret it? So some of the practitioners said that I would like to have a tool whenever I look for a result, I would like to have a button or a link that will take me to a description of an environment, about the machine, the configuration of the machine, or the hardware under test, so I do not do a detective work. So the information they are, for example, a confidence. If they say confidence level 95%, okay, what does that 95 represent? Does it represent the test case pass planned versus actual? Does it represent that the whole these code changes have passed all the testing activities, unit, integration, system, manual? Does it represent that functional testing and non-quality attributes, they are all checked before we reach to this 95% of the confidence level? So result interpretation is different and a challenge for a person who's looking at the screen, depending on the designation he or she have. Sometimes the tool just provide the result, but it is a team responsibility to interpret them. The quality information team provides only the information, but they do not interpret result. They do not say much about it. So that's another challenge those who are reading the screen may have. User interface complexities that we talked about. It is hard to determine how much information should be provided on the screen. You can have a higher level information where the user click, you go deep and deep. How many levels should be there of the information? We are afraid that it can make tool very complex to use and read. So this is another challenge that people are having, how to design a user interface. And that is one of the reasons we are going towards virtual reality. So we are speculating, or it's a hypothesis that perhaps virtual reality can give you a little bit flexibility to see what information you need and reduces the complexities of the user interface. And then when we map the challenges we have to the information needs we identified, we can see that most of them are applicable, except confidentiality versus transparency. It did not apply to many of the information needs. Like I said, that not all the companies are working with some specific or confidential software. But we have seen that most of these ticks, you can see that most of the challenges are applied to most of the need we have. So if you identify some of the needs that are applicable to you, you as a company representative can see what challenges can be applicable to you. So these were the challenges mapped to information needs, what we have done and mentioned in the paper we have. Now, what are the recommendations from the people who have been developing visualization solution from Software Center? And that's one thing that we are doing in this project, where we are organized cross-company workshop. We did one workshop 1 month ago where 3-4 companies participated, and they discussed what they are doing, what is the stage they are on, what have they learned, and if the company already have a visualization tool, other companies ask about it. Okay, how do you do that? Why do you do that? So that's recommendations gathered from them and by interviewing the practitioners who are actually CI architect or tool developer. Developer have a reason to trust the tool if it offers indication about the source of information, how old is the information, and other information quality properties. So if you are providing information and you can indicate how you get this information, how did you reach to this decision, and other information quality properties, developer will trust it more rather than just saying 97% or 100% confidence or everything is passed or 2 test cases failed. That's one of the recommendations we get. Another, to avoid being a legacy system, the visualization tool should include details such as requirement specification, design document, and so on, much like conventional product development activities. I told you earlier that visualization solutions are developed on an ad hoc basis. You need something, I develop it for you. Other person needs something, you develop something for them. So it's good to handle this visualization tools or the whole visualization activities as you develop your business product with the documentation, with the change request, what do we have, how many redundancies do we have. That's something you should consider. It is recommended to develop a base architecture upon which different visualization tools can be built. I remember I told you that many companies have different teams and each team has their own pipeline and they have their own local visualization tool. And it's very hard when they say, okay, can other team use our tool? Or no, this visualization tool is customized to our need, our pipeline. It cannot be scaled or it cannot be uh, portable to your. So we think that it's important to use some baseline protocol, and many companies software center has started using AFL. They are really developing their pipeline that strongly depend on the Eiffel protocol, and some companies are also learning from them. Okay, how are you doing this, what are you doing that. uh, Another recommendation is the credibility of the tool grows over time. Developers will trust if they use it regularly. So encourage the use of regularly, because once they use it, they base decision on it, and those decisions are correct. The credibility of the tool will grow over time. It is preferred for a software team to develop similar or systematic CI pipeline. So people suggest that move all the teams as much. I know some companies are too big. They can't force all the teams to have similar or one pipeline. But some companies can develop some systematic guidelines. Okay, whatever CI pipeline you're having, you should have these guidelines. So once they have a tool, visualization tool, they can easily port to other teams. Maintain a software visualization solution to cut down the redundancy. That's one part of this project that we are trying to find out how many solutions we have. I see you, Christian. Do you want to say something?
We are approaching the end of time.
Okay, I'll do
1 minute left.
Maybe 3 to 4. Are we supposed to finish at 12:30?
Yes, we are.
Okay, because I saw the invitation. It says 1 to 2 brown bag seminar. Maybe I got mistake from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So maintaining, we are going to each company and asking what solution they have, so we can build this repository where people can learn from them. Visualization tools should be discouraged for the bespoke development, not each tool for each user. And any change in a visualization tool should go through proper team. And these are the recommendations, but that's all also available in the paper that I have mentioned. For the discussion, we have learned that companies have so many needs and they are doing a manual work into it. So it's very important that they identify their need and proceed toward the solution that can help them. I will jump to the VR now. That's some of the part of the. You all have seen this Vici tool that I have presented. It's also available on Software Center. So we are trying to look for this information in a VR environment, because people have said that this is too much information for a person. And maybe if you want to look for test case 2, or maybe if you want to look at this environment, there's too much information. So we thought maybe we provide this information in a virtual reality environment where you can go deep into it, more deep, and you can go back, you can go forward and dig deep as much as you want. And you can look for more information. I wanted to play video, but I will provide you a link, I think here, that this video have used a code where you have so many libraries and so many classes. So you go into library, you go into the functions, you check which function calls another function, you look into the variable, you look into the log file. So it's like you in a VR environment, you are actually in the code of your tool. You look around, you go into each file, you look into a data, all these things. So we thought that we can use that information for data data traceability. For example, filtering mechanism. We can filter some information. We can use metric. On the left side, you want to see what takes more information. And then you go, your VR represent only those test cases that are taking too long to run. Or you walk around your CI pipeline from left to right. Okay, this is manual inspection. This is non-quality attribute testing. And then you go more in deep and you consider it as a room where you have other activities. You go into other rooms and you can have information. So this is an idea where we have a master thesis exploring. I hope I will have something to present during the next sprint. We are going for a work observation where we plan to sit with people and see how do they answer their needs, how do they work. So maybe it can help us in data visualization. We will talk about stated information need and actual information need. We'll look into VR in data visualization, and we are planning for a cross-company workshop. So this is the future work. Yes, thank you. And I'm sorry that I thought that it's for 40 minutes, the seminar.
Okay. Never mind, we are there and we will send the link to everyone. I will stop the recording.